Hi everyone, Flora Sage here, and I just wanted to pop into your timeline this morning. It's a very crisp morning, and I want to show you something. I am in my bare feet, and it's freezing, but that's okay. I'm not ready to give up summer just yet. So, got my scarf on. So anyway, a couple days ago, we had a free class here on my page. It was called The Answer to This is Everything. And if you attended that free class, you know that I helped you get very clear about what you really, really want in your life. And so this is a little follow-up. I wanted to check in with you and see how you're doing. I wanted to see how you are making out. Are you actually committing to the steps that you agreed on? And okay, so what do I mean by that is when I asked you, what do you want? And then what do you really want? And then what do you really, really want? That gave you the opportunity to get really, really clear with what it is that you really, truly want. And then we talked about, for those of you who did post in the comments, what you really, really want. Then we talked about some of the action steps that you could take, some of the things that you could do that would help move you forward into creating whatever it is that you wanted to create or bring about in your life. And so, have you done that? Have you taken that next step? One of the things that I mentioned was that if you want my help in this, to reach out to me and PM me. And because, this time of year is when I start to take my new coaching client docket, if you will, for the next year. And I had several of you reach out to me, and I've been having some amazing conversations with you all. Oh, so good. Such powerful people. I love it. And I love that my tribe, all of you who are watching, are just high-achieving people who are really in it to win it. And you really invest in yourself. You invest not only your time, but you invest your resources into the things that you know are going to move you in the direction that you want to go into. And that's really the biggest thing, is because you can say all day long, oh yeah, I want this and I want this, but then if you say, I'm not willing to do that, well, then you're going to get the same thing. I was actually emailing or, messaging someone after that free class, and he mentioned that he was a single dad, and he's living overseas right now. And he mentioned that he was a single dad and that he was doing it all himself, and that he didn't feel that his home was complete without a woman, and that he was just waiting to be married. And I'm like, well, a marriage... that's some people are in contract marriages, some people are in marriages for love, some people are in marriages for sex, some people are in marriages just simply because they don't want to be alone. And he mentioned that he had all these excuses why he couldn't do this and couldn't do that, and how he wasn't very domestic. I'm like, what does that mean? He goes, well, washing the dishes and doing the laundry. And I'm like, that's not a woman thing, because he was talking that it was kind of a feminine thing. I'm like, that is not feminine. That's a life skill, being able to wash your own laundry and wash your own dishes. And I'm like, that's a life skill. That's not a male or female thing. And so I invited him to kind of check out what the masculine and the feminine meant to him, and yada yada. And he's just like, well, I'm just stuck where I'm at, and I'm on disability. Or now it's not called disability where he's at, but basically he just said he can't work, and but he doesn't want to work because he's doing dad duties. And so, and all I kept hearing was excuse after excuse, and I was like, oh, how interesting. And so I kept asking, well, are you happy with where you're at? And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so, but you're not willing to do anything to change it. Well, and he said, well, my hands are tied. I can't until I get a wife. And I'm like, ugh. Yes, you can. You can change. You can give yourself permission to move forward. I mean, I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and I'm a multiple 6-figure-a-year earning entrepreneur. So, yes, you can move forward. You can give yourself permission to make the best of the situation that you're in. And So today I invite you to challenge your excuses. Challenge that story that you're telling yourself. Challenge the status quo and say, okay, you know, what is my story? What is my excuse? Why I can or can't do this? And press against that challenge. Push against that challenge. Lean into it and say, how can I move into this and how can I overcome this? You know, years ago, I wanted a new car. I wanted to pay cash for a new car and I manifested it. Years ago, at the same time, I wanted to go to college, but I couldn't afford it. I'm like, I don't have the money to go to college. And I'm like, actually, I want somebody to pay me to go to college. I want to try to manifest going to college. And so I manifested a full scholarship to go to college, and somebody actually paid me to go to college. I manifested those two things. I decided that this is what I really, really wanted, and I made it happen. I just said, all right, peeps, show me what you got. And I trusted in the universe. I trusted in God. I trusted in all of the divine celestial beings that are watching out over me, that they were going to help me achieve the thing that I just decided. But you have to get rid of those bullshit excuses that you keep telling yourself why you can't do something. You know, you have to be willing to move outside of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you're going to get the same stuff that you've gotten before. And I actually want to say the same shit, because that's really what it is. Because if you're in a life that you're not loving, if you're in a life that you feel stuck, if you're in a life where you're complaining about, well, I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources, and I don't have this, and I don't have that, I don't have the support system, how can you support yourself, first and foremost? Really? Because this is your life. It's not anybody else's life. Nobody else needs to support you or should support you. This is your life. You should support yourself. You know what I mean? And when you can start to call yourself on that, when you can start to call yourself on that, the excuses that are holding you back and that have been holding you back, and you start to say, okay, so what if this was possible? What would my life look like? How would this feel for me if I actually saw the opportunity to actually do this one thing that I really truly want? How would that feel for you? So that's what I want. That's my challenge for you today. If you haven't taken a step forward, if you haven't done those things, those small baby steps from the other day, and you are telling yourself this excuse why you can or cannot do something because you have to wait for this and you have to wait for conditions to be right. I gotta tell you, if you're gonna wait for conditions to be right, you're gonna be waiting forever. Really, there's no right time except for right now, you know? And so if you haven't taken baby steps, if you haven't even done one thing, if you have been just buying into your excuses, I challenge you to challenge that excuse today. To say, okay, so what is possible? What if, and really ask yourself this and write it down. This is your assignment. Write it down. What if this was possible? What would that look like? How would that feel for me? And then you could write down 20 ways that it could be possible. 20 ways that you could, let's just say that you need to raise $1,000 or $5,000. Okay, 20 ways that you could raise $1,000 or $5,000. 20 ways that you could earn a scholarship. 20 ways that you could find a new car. 20 ways that you could feel more welcome in your own home. 20 ways that you could start to love and accept yourself. And just sit down and just make a list, 1 through 20. And when you do this, all of a sudden you're going to start to see all the possibilities that you have been keeping yourself from because you're pigeonholing yourself into one excuse or a set of excuses. And if this triggers you, good. Because like I said, it's so disheartening when I see people just so stuck and so sold on their excuses that they can't see, you know, what's really right in front of them. And like I said, you know, I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and I did not let that stop me. You know, I was in a marriage where the person did not support my lifestyle. They didn't support my spirituality. He would say, well, I believe that you believe what you believe. And I'm like, really? And he would poo-poo it every chance he could get. But I didn't let that stop me. I didn't let that stop me from reaching out and sharing my messages with the world. That didn't stop me from building my business. That didn't stop me from being the best, biggest, wholest version of myself possible. So if this message is pissing you off, good. I am glad it is, because usually people won't make a change until they break, until they get to some form of breaking point and they get fed up with something. And I hope that you get fed up with me calling you on your bullshit. If you say, well, I can't do this because I don't have a husband or I don't have a wife, that's a bunch of bullshit. How can you support yourself? Nobody is obliged or obligated to support you except for you. That's it. This is your life. If you want something different, you have to be willing to do something different. And all those excuses, the money, the time, the whatever, get up earlier, go to bed later. Do what you can, work an extra job. Do extra. If you're really good at sewing, ask anybody, hey, anybody got any sewing projects they've been putting off? I will gladly do it, and don't do it for free. Honor your time and your talent and your expertise. Everybody is an expert at something. Everybody is. But you got to be willing to just stop telling yourself all these stupid bullshit excuses that are holding you back. And yes, they are stupid bullshit excuses. And like I said, if this is triggering you and making you mad, good. Because I want you to start to think, I want to be the voice inside your head that says, that excuse you're telling yourself is a bunch of crap. And I know that you can do this. If you really truly wanted to do this, you could do it. I know, because I did it. I manifested enough money to pay cash for a car. I manifested a full scholarship. I manifested this house that I'm in right here. I manifested a boat. I manifested, oh my gosh, a dog, a lawnmower. I manifested all kinds of stuff. And how did I manifest it? I just decided I want this thing in my life. And then I asked Spirit, all right, peeps, God, whomever, show me the next step. Show me the next step. Show me the next step. This universe is not static. It's not stuck in space and not moving. So when you want to bring something into your life, whether you want to call it co-creation or manifesting or just going to get something, you have to take action. You have to be in motion. The universe is in constant motion, so why shouldn't we be when we're trying to bring something into our life? So you have to give yourself permission to just say, this is what I want. I'm deciding on this. Come hell or high water, it's going to happen. And then start looking for the opportunities to bring it into your life. And part of that is also saying, okay, what is the opportunity here? What could I possibly do? How could I get this in my life? And make a list of like 20 ways. Make a list of 20 people you can reach out to, or 20 opportunities that really are in front of you. But you got to give yourself permission to just get over yourself and get over these bullshit excuses you're telling yourself. Because I'm here to tell you, you're going to be stuck in the exact same spot 6 months from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, if you don't take action. If you continue to believe the bullshit, if you continue to believe these excuses that you're telling yourself, you're gonna keep getting the same thing that you've been getting. And if you're okay with that, rock on. But if you're not okay with that, I challenge you this week, today, make a list of 20 things that you can do to get out of the place that you're at. 20 things that you can do. 20 next baby steps. What's, if you had to raise $5,000 to save your child, what would you do? From today, right now, if you had to raise $5,000, what would you do? You'd probably sell some stuff. You would probably, whatever. And you can't borrow the money. You can't get a loan. Okay. You had to earn and raise the money yourself. What would you do? You'd probably act really fast, right? That's the same thing. Okay. You are your child, your inner child within you. That little person inside of you when you were a kid that dreamed of this amazing life that you were going to have is still stuck inside of you, okay? What do you want? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to be a coach? Do you want to have an amazing career? Do you want to have an amazing household? Do you want to be a best-selling author? Whatever it is you want to do, decide and just make it happen. If you look at Oprah's story or Tony Robbins' story or even my story, we didn't get our success handed to us. We had to fight for it. We had to say, no, this is what I want. I don't want this. I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt. I was sitting in my little 800 square foot freaking house in Oklahoma on welfare, on food stamps, sitting going, I know I am better than this. I know I want more than this. And I had a vision. And what did I start to do? I'm like, okay, what am I good at? I'm good at organizing. I'm good at decluttering stuff. So I went on Vistaprint.com and I got myself some business cards called Home CEO. And I started to pass them out, and I told people I want to organize and declutter your house. And I started working for free on a donation basis. And then I started charging whenever people were like, oh my God, you're so good. This is amazing. And that dream that I had of, fuck this, I want something more. What am I good at that I can do that can help people and better their life? And I started doing it. I didn't have a certification. I just started doing it because I wanted something more. I wanted something more than what I had. And so you have to give yourself permission to just start. I think I paid like $10. It was like $9.95, and I probably had like 15 or 20 bucks in my account. I didn't have very much money. But I'm really freaking good at organizing because I've been doing it my whole freaking life. And I just did it. That was over 20 years ago. Actually, that was 20 years ago. This year. So if you have a vision, lean into that. Lean into that part of you, that little space inside of you that knows you want more than what you have. And when you make an excuse, that's just ego trying to keep you back. That's ego trying to say, yeah, no, you don't deserve that. You're not worthy. You're good here. Just suck it up and suffer here. Really. So I challenge you to lean into what it is that you really truly want. And then ask yourself, okay, so what's 20 ways that I can do this? And start brainstorming. And then I want you to get back to me. I want you to PM me what your plan of action is here on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link below. Join me on Facebook. You're missing the party. Also, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like you can't really make a decision, I have a free gift on my website. It's called 4 Steps to Make Better Decisions. Click the link below, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Click the link and grab the free gift and read the free gift and do it, okay? This helps you clear your energy so that you can make decisions. Most people have what's called decision fatigue. I talk about all of that in the free gift. If you feel overwhelmed with your decisions, download the free gift because this is something I know is going to help you, okay? All right. This is tough love time, people. Seriously, this is the 4th quarter of the year. Most people are reaching out saying, shit, I haven't gotten anything done. Help. And I'm like, all right, what do you want to do? Decide to do it and then just do it. Really. And as a coach, I help my clients take the next step. I help them figure out what the next best step is. And then I help them do it. The baby steps is key. You can't climb Mount Everest in a day. It's just one step at a time. And as a coach, that's also what I'm very, very good at. I dare I say, one of the best at helping you figure out what the next best step for you is. Okay, so if you want my one-on-one help to create the best year yet, I want you to PM me and say, hell yes, Flora, I want to work with you for the next year. How can we make this happen? Okay, so PM me here on Facebook. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. And I know you can do this. All right, have an amazing rest of your day. And remember, all you have to do is decide and go get it. All right, bye-bye.